Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Ka. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
It's been a very great Easter day at the time you're going to be listening to this tomorrow. It is currently Easter
Yes.
Sunday. So happy Easter, everybody out there listening. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And I know you and I have as well with our family. We just got back from some family functions today. So busy day of travel, spending time with family, but always worth it.
Yes, absolutely.
So on today's show, we are going to talk about the wonderful day it was yesterday. We finally had a day game,
Yes.
and I'll share all the memories from a solid defensive performance by the Philadelphia Union.
Yes, absolutely.
So before we get started, what are we wearing today?
Well, so I was watching the Phillies game earlier, which they
Mhm.
were trying not to get swept by the Braves, and thankfully they didn't. But they during the broadcast, the Braves announcers, they mentioned that Phillies fans would probably boo Christ.
That was a little wild.
Yeah. So in honor of that, yeah, I wore my shirt that Kyle got me. We boo because we care, Philadelphia. So
I really like that shirt.
yeah, that's fun.
It's a fun shirt,
And
and
for the record, some fans were like, well, if you showed up wearing a Braves jersey, then I don't know. Like, no.
really,
But it's like, good God, people. All fan bases boo.
yeah, exactly.
Just
And that's a funny thing.
Philly
So.
gets all the notice about it.
Yeah. And I'm wearing a Sons of Ben t-shirt that I got yesterday.
Yes.
I've been meaning to pick this up. Nice little color, like
Navy
oh,
blue with the blue, the gold trim.
it's like an old school, like not like a baseball, although I know I talked to John, he was saying something about getting some like baseball kind of
Mm-hmm.
softball sleeve kind of shirts made. But this is kind of
I think
nice
it's what's
little.
called like a ringer
Yeah,
shirt.
it's a
Yeah.
ringer, old retro ringer shirt. It says Defenders of the Super Bowl on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Really comfortable. Like it a lot. It's been something I saw last year. I think they put these on sale. So I know he was telling me I think they're getting some more in. But yeah, really nice shirt. If you like it, go definitely go get it. I think they're $25. And he did tell me yesterday that they're going to be getting some new merch in soon.
Ooh,
So
new merch.
stay tuned for that. We'll definitely be reviewing that for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So before we continue, make sure to subscribe and follow us on social media and interact with us because we love hearing from you. You can find us on social media at the One Team We Agree on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter/X at TOTWAG. We are also on YouTube, the One Team We Agree On. And please check out our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com. And I'm going to also be posting some things on my personal TikTok. It's silly underscore Jilly or something like that. I always forget.
Yeah.
I forget my own handle in there.
And also I know we got some stuff coming out this week on the website. We're gonna do some interview, Jim's interview. We're probably gonna do a pregame for Nashville. I'm also gonna do my Nashville travel guide. So keep a lookout for that to be coming out later in the week. And let's go ahead and get started on today's show. First, I want to go back a little bit earlier this week. Union 2 played in Chicago, and they, what was it? They went to PKs, lost in PKs, but they still got a point.
Yeah, because if you're not aware, they do it a little differently at that level at MLS Next Pro.
Which I'm
They
fine
don't just
with.
like say, "Oh, it's a draw."
No, I'm fine with that. For those kids that get some PK experience.
Mhm.
It's a fun way. I guess it's kind of a way to keep people interested and something to try out differently. Um, I watched a little bit. What did you think of the game?
Yeah, I was able to see some of it. I was coaching earlier, so I missed like the first part of it, but I did see that Eddie Davis had a goal, right?
Yes,
So
2 goals now in the season for him.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's good to see.
yeah. So no, it's always fun watching them, and I think that more people should check them out.
They really should check out the Bridge Brigade. They on social media they brought out some T-shirts,
Yeah.
and they look really nice. So we're definitely probably going to be checking them out a little bit more here. So
Yeah, their next home game is April 11th,
yeah,
and that's a 4 p.m. game. So that's, a midweek game. So it's I know it's a little harder for some people to get there. I know it'd be hard for us too, but we're planning on going to the one on April 21st, I believe it
yeah,
is.
yeah, and that's always going to be a fun time. So yeah, definitely check out YouTube. They're doing some really nice stuff. Off to a good start to the season, so that's awesome to see. And a little bit of other, I guess, YouTube Academy news was broken earlier in the week. And it's kind of been all everybody's radar, kind of. But Kevin Sullivan, um, it's been reported now. Jim really couldn't comment on it this week in the presser, but it's been reported by multiple outlets that he has signed with Manchester City, agreed to a deal. Well, agreed to a deal, um, which is reported you get 2 million up front,
Hmm.
5 million incentive bonuses plus a hefty sign. And here's the catch for everybody saying Kevin's not gonna be ever playing for the first team. Well, maybe not. We'll see how he grows and develops. Again, he's just a kid, Pete.
He's 14.
He's 14. Let's tamper it. Now, is he talented? Again, like I said last episode, absolutely.
Mhm.
But he's gonna be with you until he's 18.
Yeah, and so I think it's win-win, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because there's that sell-on clause, and the union are going to get something out of it, but he also gets to further his career, of course, going to Europe. But it's definitely great to keep him in Philly a while and see that development. Did you see his new boots?
Yes, the Prada collaboration with Raffaele Alves Milan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're
They're
nice.
only like $500 boots there.
They are nice. I mean, they're Prada.
Yeah, they're Prada.
So, I mean, okay.
How many 14-year-olds get to wear something like that?
Some of the fashion deals you get in Milan, some of those players, like I went and looked at some like Giroud, although he's probably not gonna be around much longer. And then Leal, Pulisic has some deal. I mean, those guys get so many fashion deals. I mean, they're in
Mhm.
the fashion capital of the world.
Yeah,
So, I
makes
mean, at the
sense.
end of the day, it makes sense. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little breaking news. Hey, look, at the end of the day, it's a good deal for the union, good piece of business. And for Kevin, he gets to kind of stay in Philly and grow up a little bit longer
He
before.
gets to be with his family
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So
So
I think that's important because you got to remember he's a kid still.
it is. So let's talk about yesterday's 2-0 win. You know, you were on the presser on Friday. You
Yes.
had a couple big things this weekend we'll get into.
Yes.
Um, and we're really excited to share your experiences with us. But you got to get on the presser and you got to ask Jim a question.
Yeah. So it kind of was nice because it was Good Friday and I was home from school too. So I didn't have work. And I asked Jim about Damian Lowe and his 62 caps for Jamaica, which is the same as his dad, Andy Lowe. And Jim had a great response about that. So we're going to play that clip.
Yeah. So here's the clip. We're gonna go ahead and share our screen. And let's listen to Jim.
Yeah, this is going to date me a little bit, but I played against his dad when his dad was in Kansas City, and he was to put it nicely, a handful to cover. Big, strong striker, powerful, could score a goal from anywhere. So yes, we did get to talk about it. I made a little joke about him surpassing or tying his old man, and then eventually now probably going to break that record naturally. But yeah, he was excited by it, also humbled, and he recognizes it's good sometimes to step back and realize these achievements that you have in your career, because once the games get going, you just get in a rhythm. You're out there, but to represent your country that many times and do it well in the way Damian has done it, and how good he's played for us in the early stages of the season is impressive. So great accomplishment, and a great family accomplishment, to be honest. It speaks to two really high quality players. One that is great at preventing goals in Damien, and his dad was great at scoring them. And he was, like I said, he was a handful.
So anyway,
Yeah, it's funny because it's like I know the feeling, Jim, when it's like, oh, this is gonna make him feel old here. But no, that's uh I thought that was really good response from him. And it is a big honor for Damien.
it really is.
Yeah, and I know Damien posted on Twitter, forever grateful, and he's very humbled by it. So yeah, and Damien's been doing a great job for the team so far this year.
Yeah, he has. And one of the things I've really liked is his growth and development. I think he's been playing a little bit more confident at times. Now, again, he's still reckless, like I say. But, that brought up an interesting point when we were sitting there at the tailgate. Would Lowe start over Jack Elliott prior to, Jack's had a bad string of games recently. And, part of that could have been that injury. We've talked about that. But, we were really talking a lot about like, I mean, I even talked to Todd about it. I was like, do we really start Lowe? And he's like, yeah. So,
Yeah. So of course that question got answered, and Jack Elliott started along with Jacob Blessis. So Damien did not feature in the game.
no, but we do have some great pictures of the tailgate here.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
So it was so nice to have an actual day game. And we yeah, so it was Sunday. Yeah, the tailgate was on.
So yeah, this is a really nice. Wow, this was like right when we got there, and when this is like sometimes we've seen crowds this big, even before that. Whoop,
Yeah, this is
whoop.
going.
And then here's a picture of us.
Yeah, so there was a decent amount of people because we got there maybe 15 minutes into the tailgate. So it was very early, and there were already a lot of people, but it was quite crowded by the end. I mean, when you figure it's a day game, it's kids' day, and Union Yards isn't an option.
No,
they're
not
still
yet.
working on that. So it did make for a nice crowd, which the tailgate sold out prior to game day. So that was really good for them.
It was, and so that was a nice picture.
Yep.
Here's a whole bunch. We were celebrating.
Elvia's birthday. Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was nice.
So a whole bunch of us were there, and they had very kid friendly foods at the tailgate. They had like PB&J,
Yeah,
pizza,
grilled
grilled
cheese.
cheese and stuff like that. So that was good.
And that brings up a good point because they always have the same stuff. And I get, look, everything there it's volunteer basis. Like, they get a lot of stuff donated from sponsors and whatnot. I would like to see them mix it up a little bit more. That was fun.
That was fun. And hey, not gonna lie. Oh, and they had like chicken tenders and stuff too. We were eating them after the game. Yeah.
And Mac was like, "Hey, Kyle, I got a whole nother slab of chicken tenders down here." They're like, "Just take them."
Yeah. So hey, we can get behind that. No, it is who doesn't love that stuff? So you don't have to be a kid to appreciate those.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And yeah, so we were just hanging out. There's Paul and me and some friends here. So it was yeah, like I said, beautiful weather, especially when the wind kind of slowed down because it was kind of windy at first and a little chilly, but it got really nice out. There's Todd and Shelby. Shelby's his sister, everyone who has mistakenly thought otherwise.
Yeah.
Just that's a running joke with us.
After a blunder of the week, Mr. Todd Lewis, I could tell something. I could share a story that Shelby shared about him. you know what I'm talking about too. No. It's just funny.
That blunder of the week though was great.
Yes,
I gave Todd full permission to have Kyle be his blunder
and
of the week.
honestly, what Shelby told me is just like sister, teasing her brother, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was funny though. But yeah, those are some of the great pictures. And then we went into the
Yeah, we didn't march in today because I was going in with the media. So, but yeah, the plaza was hopping.
Yeah, and again, this was really neat to see when we were walking in there, Todd and Shelby having fun, just chatting about everything. And it was good to see. And it goes back to a point I want to make about day games. You see the crowd. Now I get it, it's kids' day, but a 2 o'clock game, MLS says, oh well, 7:30 games are prime time. And I get that. And I get it with families. You got soccer and sports activities all day. And now you go to a game in the evening.
But can we have a variety at least?
And I think that's really if I'm Apple, and I'd love to see the numbers on like afternoon games.
All
Are
I know
they
is the attendance was 19,000
yes.
plus,
And
which
that's
is like over 100% capacity.
so are a mixture of day games and afternoon games really something that MLS really needs to seriously look at?
Yeah. I mean, it's nice on one hand having kind of predictableness of
Yeah.
the night games because for us, sometimes we have a swim meet early in the day and we can get to the night games easier.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that aspect. However, man, it was nice being in the daytime and we had sun, and it, of course, wasn't as nice later. So this worked well. But yeah, and getting home when it was still light out. It
Mhm.
felt weird leaving the stadium and it was still daytime. It was still light out. So used to being late.
Right.
Yeah. And we didn't feel like we were in such a rush to get home then either. So, but of course, as always, we had to stop in the team store, check out the merch because we saw that there was new merch. Some of it had gotten a little previewed on the Dupe podcast with Sage Hurley, and she was interviewing Jeremy Raffanello.
So yeah, definitely check that out. It's a
Yeah.
good interview.
Yeah. So anyway, well, I'd already seen the goalie jerseys, but they have the purple ones and the yellow ones. So,
Yeah, the other ones are down below.
yep. So they're nice. Now, this sweatshirt, a lot of people love, love, love the sweatshirt. I love this sweatshirt.
It's really nice.
I would have purchased this sweatshirt if not for the price tag. And if you zoom in, you can see that is a $150 sweatshirt. Okay. And it's by the Wild Collective. And I'm pretty sure they're the ones that made the concert t-shirt that we all loved last year. And again, I have no regrets on that purchase. I did not pay full price for it. I waited to use sale and I think fan cash and stuff on it. So, yeah, but this sweatshirt looks so nice and nice quality and everything. But am I going to pay $150 for a sweatshirt? I don't think so. Okay, people, like I I do not make enough money for that. Okay. And I am not sponsored by them to promote their merch. They are more than welcome to do that for me. I will gladly showcase the merch for a little kickback on that, but I am not currently. But yeah, they did have a bunch of nice items though in there. They had some new hats.
They did have some new hats, and you know me, I love hats. So
Yeah.
I really like this hat. It's simple. It's just a nice Philadelphia Union. It's nothing amazing, but I really like the color. I like how they have the light blue on around the brim. It's just a nice little old school classic logo, like kind of like the old starter kind of logos.
Yep.
And
They
then
had some drinkware. They had a
yeah,
pint cup there. It's black with the Philadelphia Union lettering on there.
and it's commemorating the 15th season, so
Mhm.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then there's another hat, and again, if you're just listening, it's navy blue with an oval logo with Union, kind of in a script on it. It says "Fight for Philly," established 2010. And then, so they have these bomber jackets, which they had an ad on. I saw it on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. With Mikel Ua was wearing it,
Yep.
and it's yeah, it looks really nice. I saw Sage wearing it later, and yeah, it does look really nice. It's very similar to the Mitchell and Ness one, and this one is by Mitchell and Ness. Yeah, we have the one that came out like 2 years ago
With the Philly on the front.
with Philly on the front, which I honestly like that one better.
I like this. I like it a lot better. This is
But this is
nice.
nice. It's more simple. It just has like the Union logo on the front, and then it has the Union thing on the back. But no, that's nice. Again, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And so they had a new t-shirt. T-shirts were a little bit more reasonable. At least this one was, but has yeah, it's like kind of an off-white with Philadelphia Union and the snake logo on it. So we had that. And then um they had kind of a cream colored zip up hoodie that has stripes across with the Union crest on the side there. I think that looks nice.
It is nice. It's a very nice little hoodie. I actually might end up buying this one.
Again,
It's really sharp. I
yeah,
like
it
it.
is sharp. I mean, none of these things, like these prices are getting out of hand, I think.
Yeah, that's another thing. Really am starting to feel like the quality and the price is starting to diminish returns here.
Yeah.
I mean, especially during these economic times, like we gotta stop We gotta kind of level the playing field. I
Yeah.
get if it's 100, but when
Like,
you're like at
yeah.
125,
Like
130,
$150 for a sweatshirt. I got that light blue Live Breathe football sweatshirt
yeah,
that I love, and it is great quality, and it is so comfy. And I paid $100. I got it at Dick's Sporting Goods, but
yeah,
I have no regrets. Now, in the ladies section, I don't know why that's a video.
yeah.
Anyway, this one I'd seen also. So Fight for Philly, and I thought this one looks really nice. And then I was
Mm.
like, oh, I thought I might get that. And then I saw the price tag was like 75. Now, don't come at me. Yes, I know an $80 t-shirt that I purchased last year, not for that full price, but would I get this if I had it if it was on sale? Yes.
It's a nice
It
shirt.
is nice. And also I made a point to underneath it, they have the pink hats still. So if you're looking for the pink hats,
I'm
and they
interested.
had a new hat there that had, yeah, and again, this was in the ladies section, but it doesn't have to be for ladies. Anyone could get them. And
That
it
looks
has a little
neat.
snake. Yeah, and I'm not like a big hat person, but I do love my pink hat that I have. And
Yeah,
I like those. I would wear one of those.
yeah. So,
Has the navy blue there. All right.
and so then that's us before you went up in the press section.
Yeah. Yeah, so up on the Heineken deck area.
Yeah,
So
it's a nice picture.
yeah. So
So, all right, well, we'll stop sharing there for now.
yeah.
So let's get into the game. Let's first talk about your experience in the press section.
Right. So normally Kyle goes up in the press box, but this
Mm.
was my first time doing that.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was supposed to come with us. He wasn't feeling well yesterday morning. So, we just decided, hey, that's fine. I'll go down. And we got in contact with a good friend and colleague, a coaching colleague of ours who was able to make the game
Mhm.
last minute. So, but anyway, let's get back to, your experience.
Yeah. So I went up in the press box, and of course I know a whole bunch of people that are there. So that was good.
Mhm.
And so, I'm up there with Todd and Jose and Skylar and Jimmy and all people there. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely a different view
Mhm.
from being where I normally am in 136. And for me, it was really neat to see. You could see the plays developing better.
Absolutely.
Just a different angle. And I said to Kyle that, yeah, I said to you, Kyle, like, I could see like Jack McGlynn and Kai's um, play better just
Mhm.
from on that side because they were right down below, and seeing things set up. And it's a lot easier to tell from that angle if someone's offside too,
It is.
because I have such a hard time telling that when you're looking straight on from the river end. So,
Although I will say from the river end, you can see handballs a lot clearer.
although we all saw what looked like should have been a handball on
Oh, I
us.
saw it real clear.
Yeah.
It was right there. I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh."
Yeah, so that was in the first half at some
Yeah,
point, and, thankfully, that didn't get reviewed or anything, so,
yeah.
we kinda dodged one there, I think, but anyway, yeah, it was great, and everyone was really cool, and I enjoyed covering the game from up there. I was tweeting and, uh, giving live updates on that, getting video, and, yeah, just overall a really cool experience,
And you
and
did a
then
really great job of getting some good photos
thank
and
you.
and updating the app throughout the game. You
I
did.
happened to be recording when I got that shot that Quinn took that would have
Mhm.
been, like, just an amazing goal. He just missed it when he hit that hit right over the crossbar.
Yeah. So we'll share some more of the videos from the day.
Yeah.
Let's keep sharing here. So this one, that's us. This is a boat.
Yes, nice finger there, Kyle.
Yes, so there was a running joke. Jose called me out on it at the end of the game. He's like, "Yeah, you like to take photos with fingers in it." And yes, this is a problem I've always had. For some reason, when I tilt my hands the way I hold the finger, I always get finger in it. I've gotten better at it
Did you know
sometimes.
if you have live photo on, a lot of times
Yeah,
you
you
can go
can
in and
take it
fix
out.
that?
Yeah,
Okay, but yeah, we did see some boats. There's a photo I took. So yes, same boat going through. There were a lot of boats
there
actually.
were boats throughout the day. There's another video.
Yeah.
After you went up, I walked through the concourse update.
Okay,
So,
scoops. That's where I get my water.
yep, so I was just taking some video of some of these places here. This new, I guess this is the place that Phillips cheese
Yeah.
last year. That they still got the chickens and peas, but now they have like two chickens. They have two chickens and peas now. Yeah, this is something else I want to talk about. So, customization. So, I'm fine with like the $30 if we brought an
Yeah, I
kit.
thought about bringing in like my authentic one though. It just
But
got
even that's like, I mean, when we go to the locker sale, it's $10.
yeah, and I mean honestly, the cost to do that, yeah,
Yeah.
to do iron on basically
Yeah, I mean,
the
that's
press,
just,
whatever.
I'm
Yeah,
like looking at that like a dollar thing's almost $200.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean that's what we paid for. We got the authentic, but yeah,
yeah, but
I didn't want.
does it, so when you put customization on, it's $200.
Yeah, and I've thought about customizing our authentic one from this year, the new kit, but uh,
I don't know. We'll see.
yeah.
All right.
Hey, there's me up there.
And then yeah, all of us down. So I went down into yeah, you can close off on that.
Now I'm just moving the cursor.
So we close off on that for now. But so I went down after I left you, walked around, took some video.
Yeah.
Which we'll be posting later on the website. And got my snuffler at Sterling Pig.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best craft brew you can get there in Subaru Park, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I got my can. Actually, I didn't get a snuffler. I got a Technicolor Haze. I really like that.
Those are good.
And then Dave and I got ones at second half. So, yeah, I went down. I walked in. Of course, the banter began as soon as I started walking up the
Yeah,
steps.
yes. How were you received in 136, Kyle?
Somebody said, "Should we start kissing your shoes?" And I'm like, our shout out to our buddy Doug. He's like, "Should we start polishing and kissing your boots?"
Yeah, because every time I go in there, Doug will turn to me, he's like, "Is he up there?" And I'm like, "Yep."
um, and you know, Jeffrey Mitchell and his buddies are like, "Oh my gosh, look who decided to show up!" And throughout the game, it was fun. Like a couple people are like, "Oh, you're gonna let me guess, Kyle, you're gonna review that on your podcast, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yep." I mean, it was just
And here we are.
but honestly, it was all fun, like, just busting balls kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it actually was cool to be hanging out with Eric, Jane, um, Drew, all those guys there. We're just having some good conversations, catching up with some people.
Yeah.
And and then like Ed, our buddy Ed was there. He was up in our end. Actually, when I went in, first person I sat there and talked to was Ed for a while before I headed up. And it was just really cool to hang out with them. He was up there seeing some of his buddies. So we were chatting for a while and watching the game together. And overall, it was a good time.
Yeah, I actually stopped down real quick during halftime and you weren't there because you were, going to the bathroom. And I came down and saw everyone in 136 real quick and then I hightailed it back up. But
yeah,
I came and made an appearance. And
did you use the secret shortcut?
the secret shortcut.
I'll tell you offline.
I mean, I came down and then I went across.
Oh, there's another way you can do it. I'm not giving that one away.
Oh.
Yeah, pro tip. Ty showed me it. Did not realize you could do it either. But anyway, so yeah, let's look at some of the sights and sounds from the game. First up, we have here. Pull this up. So it was you in the press box.
Yeah.
This was when the Union were coming out. Nice little video. I took this. Did not get my finger in the way. So, although as you can see, I'm moving my hand. Oh, that's a bad one. Oh yeah, that's not good.
Getting seasick, Kyle.
I know. I gotta do a better job. Not as bad as the camera guy at that one goal. And there's my finger.
There's your finger in it. Okay.
So anyway, that was kind of just me walking out, and then
yeah. So
I love this. So
yeah.
we had discussion. So for those of you listening, they did, if you remember the backyard baseball, backyard football video game series, they would always, when you pick your players, they'd have like, you just like click on them. So they do a cool thing. They'd like announce the starting lineup and then they click in like they would for like a player. So that brought up Pablo Sanchez. And for those of you that don't know or have never played this game, Pablo Sanchez was the GOAT. The kid was maxed out in everything. Didn't matter which sport. He was maxed out. He was like the greatest player ever. You can play him in anything. So that was really kind of cool to see like all the players.
Yeah, like in this kind of like cartoon form. And so yeah, instead of their actual like pictures or the little video they do of each player when they're announced, it was their version here, their like cartoon version. I know I took a picture of the whole thing there, and then also just like the one for Kai
Yeah,
that
so
came
they
up.
yeah.
There's Kai, for example. So I thought it was really cute. I like that.
I didn't know that Kai had like a full beard at that.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
it's just like
yeah.
that. We were okay. So when they showed that for Kai, I'm like, since when did Kai get like a full beard and mustache? Like,
Well, he has the mustache. Yeah, he's
yeah,
got
well,
like
I
that
mean, he
same
has
kind of
like, but
mustache.
he's
Yeah.
like all has like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
He has a 5 o'clock shadow. And like there, I'm like that. Some of them looked like the kind of the guys.
Yeah.
There was one, was it Mikel Ua? I'm like, that looks nothing like Mikel Ua.
Yeah, I think I
It was like,
recall.
and like Julian looked like he had like almost a borderline full on beard.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you had Jim Curtin just sitting there like this with his
Yeah.
hands and
Yeah.
Larry clapping. So that was fun.
Yeah. And
So
so
let's
let's talk about the drum striker actually.
yeah,
Do you have
before we
that?
get to that, yeah, before we get to some of the game actually, talk about the drum strikers.
Yeah, because that was really special. So as it was Kids Day, this was really good because so the um the union really support the whole kick childhood cancer,
Correct.
right? And so they have um the Fearless 43, and they have one of their they had Charlotte, who's one of the children that has been involved with this. She just got to ring the bell for her last chemo treatment. She has done chemo and she's been battling cancer, and her special friend is Kai and Jenny Wagner as well. So they really have supported her and become basically like family with her and her family, and Charlotte calls him Uncle Kai. And it's just a really special bond. And I just love that for our team. And I really do love all the stuff that they do to support these kids. And because no child should have to go through that.
No.
And so Charlotte got to bang the drum and Kai was out there with her. So they banged the drum together, and also with Fang out there. So I thought that was really cool for them to start out with that.
No, I did too. We were really applauding him down there in 136, and it was just really cool to see, and just like Kai being there with his t-shirt on and like
Yeah.
cheering her on and all that. That was a really cool sight to see, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of fans in the River End were getting behind it, and we're all excited.
Yeah. And there was actually a banner in front of the River End that said Charlotte kicked childhood cancer.
And that was cool to see as well. So
Yeah.
just a really awesome moment there, especially for Charlotte, and everybody involved. And that really set the tone for what I thought personally was, you could always say it could have been better, but I was really, that just felt like a union performance there where you're like, okay, like at no point, any point in that game, especially in well, let's talk about the first half.
Yeah.
First half, the union come out. Now, before we preface that, Minnesota was out without, they're pretty much arguably one of their best players in Emmanuel Reynaud, so he was not on the bench. Um, Earlier in the week, we can share this story. Earlier in the week, I had kind of said to a group of guys, I was going through looking at stats and stuff and reports. And I had noticed, and I believe I said this on the program last week, I didn't see if he played in his last game. Now, Jose said, yeah, he played 31 minutes, I believe, in LAFC. And I know he had been dealing with a knee injury, I believe, what Ty told me. But I saw this one site, I forget which one it was, I used to go to. It said he was on a green card. He was going to get his green card in Argentina. And no reports MLS, nobody had it. So I'm like thinking, okay, this site got it wrong, but I hadn't seen much out of him. Lineup comes out, we'll come out to find out later, their coach confirmed that, yeah, Emmanuel was going to get his green card. So shout out for that site for having, I think it was SofaScore. But anyway, yeah, so that was a big loss. So I preface everything saying Minnesota's not one of their best players at this game. So from the onset, I thought it was a little bit, I thought it was just, there really wasn't much going on. Both teams were figuring each other out. What I did notice was early on we were trying to get some chances, and
Yeah.
Minnesota was doing a good job defensively, and then we started getting a couple chances there, and Same old story.
I mean, I thought we came out, fairly aggressive, and
Did.
um,
But there was also times we were both like, I remember me and I think it was Eric was just sitting there talking, going, these two teams are trying to figure each other out, trying to attack, because they were kind of coming down, creating some chances.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the crazy thing was, I checked the stats at halftime, and we had like 55% possession or something
Which
like
is
that.
not good.
Which I look at that and like, I think I turned to Skylar and I'm like, well, and he's like, yeah, that's not usually good. I'm like, I know. It was either him or Jose I talked to, and I was like, yeah,
Will say
it's
the Union looked like in the first half, they looked a little bit more comfortable with the ball, like what they wanted to do with it.
yeah,
Um, but again, it went back to we had a couple opportunities there, and so did Minnesota. I think for me, Blake coming up with that big save on Pookie, Elliott with that nice tackle there. Even though he gets caught flat-footed and gets beat, he recovers well,
yeah,
like he's done. And then there was a couple nice breakups, like Glesnes had one. I thought Nate was really, really outstanding on the day on the right side.
he was.
And Kai was good as human, but
Yeah, I mean, Kai's been just very solid
he
like every
has,
game.
he has, he signed that new contract and he's been playing well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been consistently very strong. I thought Jack McGlynn had a good game. Yeah, would have been nice to see him score on that chance he had late in the game in the second half. But I thought he, like as Jim put it, he had like a sneaky good game, as did Nate Harriel.
Harrell had a sneaky good game. Brujo was up and down, but he did a good job manning the top of the spine, I thought. I mean, I think if you look at the attack, as Jim will say, we'll go as front three. Front three were trying to create. I mean,
Yeah.
Ua had a couple plays where he crossed that ball in because he was getting pushed out. Like he always goes out because,
Yeah.
I wish sometimes he'd go inside, but he was going out and then you cross it in, no one was there. He had one or two chances. I thought he was okay on the day. Um, but they were trying to get him involved and credit Minnesota. They weren't letting him get involved, but because they've stretched the field and there were some opportunities for other people too, I felt.
Yeah, and let's talk about the fact that we got another set piece goal.
We did.
We've been doing more of that lately. And so that first goal we got off of, off of corner taken by Kai, which then kind of deflects off Jack Elliott and
to our friend Todd Lewis for clipping these.
yeah, and then Daniel Gosdog knocks it in.
Nice play, runs it right in, and
yeah.
I mean, and good for Danny. Let's talk about that real
Okay,
quick.
yeah, he definitely needed that. And first of all, it's a goal from the run of play. It's not a PK. Okay. As much as we love him for how good he is at PKs, but
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sure. Suppose I go back.
Anyway, so yeah, it was really good to see Danny get that goal. And basically because in the international break, when he was with Hungary, his play was criticized, to put it nicely.
Let's put it this way. A report came out from a Hungarian newspaper, had my former teammate Andras Schoenig,
who's Hungarian.
Hungarian, swam for the Hungarian national team. His kids are doing real well right now. But beside the point, I just said, can you translate this article for me? It gets me back to us next.
Because Google translates one thing, but we want to hear from someone actually who's a native speaker.
And we were like, does he basically say he plays like shit? And he goes, yes, very much. He says his performance was unacceptable and was crap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And this is coming from, now, we were going to ask Jim a question. I had a question about this.
Yeah.
But then halfway through the day, a whole bunch of us were talking and that site was down. So how verifiable is that? Was this just some hot take site that, because we don't know where this is coming from. So we played it safe, but, I saw another, but then it was back up. So basically from what was said in the press conference, he was getting criticized. Didn't play the first game. Only played 45 minutes the second game. Did not have a good window. So for him to get that after what his former club manager said about him, not to say even just national team, this is somebody that Daniel's played with before. No,
that's a good boost for him, I think.
It was.
And as Jim has said before, as the front three go, that's how the team kind of goes.
Yeah.
Danny scoring, Julian scoring when we got both of them.
Yeah.
And so we just need to do a goal.
Yeah, and
But
that's really all we
yeah,
did. And I mean, like I said, he had 2 chances. One
yeah,
was a nice cross by Quinn, just got in front, and the defensive player made a really nice play on that slide tackle
right.
out.
Yeah, but the
So,
nice goal by Daniel, and then
and then we kinda went to 1-1 at the half, 1-0 at the
one
half.
nothing at the half.
And I
Yeah,
remember I turned to my one buddy, I was like, this game, it's really nice to see. I know Andre had that little shake up the first half.
yeah. So he got kind of knocked in the head when he was punching out the ball. So there was a little scare with that, and of course everyone holds their breath. And I think I said a Hail Mary there, and Andre is down, but he got up and he continued. But later in the game, he uh needed to come out, of course, because he was feeling lightheaded.
Yeah, he had that little, he came down the ball and
Yeah,
first at that very first nice save he made, he kind of landed on the
yeah,
ball, got the wind knocked out of him. So he had kind of a rough day, but he made some great saves. Like I
he
said, that
did.
kick slave on Pookie,
Oh yeah,
that was good. That was a little poor defending there, but credit. I mean, again, Minnesota can create. That's why as of yesterday, now today they're not, but going into that game, they were in first place in the West. So
yeah,
and then we had some nice, almost another set piece goal here.
yeah.
So we're gonna play this here.
So this is your view from the river end.
Yeah. Let's see if I
Yeah,
can
so this was a
if I
corner.
get any fingers in on this one. Let's see.
Yeah, for real.
Right on. Nice low ball in, gets backed out. Great anticipation.
Yeah, so just a really nice shot by Quinn. Just misses, just at the crossbar.
So yeah, I mean, and right there you were all thinking, oh man, right there was 2-0.
And
Well,
here's yeah,
so then we were wrong. All right. This is a great little play goal here by
Julie.
Carranza.
Yeah, Carranza.
But I want to take
Let's
this.
talk about what happened right before that, though.
Let's look. I want to share this with you right here, if we can get back to it. To show all this breakdown and all that, and see if we can get the cut of this, because I was watching this right here. I want to show you Ali here, Ali Bedoya with the whereabouts here to head that ball right into
right to
Julie.
Julian. Perfect placement. And
Look at that.
I mean, such a great header, and Julian right in the right spot.
That's just a veteran move right there when you think
Yeah.
about it.
Now, let's back up a second. So before that happened, by the way, before that goal, that was shortly after there was a VAR review, because it had seemed that Minnesota had gone down and scored. But
yes.
even right before that happened, like, oh no, that's offside,
We all even thought
yeah,
that too.
we thought that was offside, but of course, with these things, you just never know. But thankfully that was called correctly, that it was offside. And so then we restarted and took it right down and scored pretty much.
Right, and that was kind of the one thing you just couldn't give that, like, because as soon as that got overturned, I was like, because that was also when Minnesota was starting to build a little steam too.
Yeah.
They were starting to get pressured, and I said, and like,
So us taking it right down,
and
and
we were all
scoring
like
pretty
proud
much
to
was
score,
big.
like, Union can't concede here, and then they could see we're like, crap.
Yeah.
And then it got called off, and we're like, all right, good. And then
We did the absolute best thing that we could have done, was go down and
yeah,
score.
and when we scored, I looked at
shift
everybody.
that momentum.
And then as soon as they scored, I felt personally, I don't know how you guys felt up there in the press box. You could just look at the body language on Minnesota. They was like, "Up, that's game."
Yeah, and of course we know that 2-0 lead is, of course,
Right.
but I mean, it was late in the game, first of all, and we're
And then
okay.
it just felt like Union just went on attack. They were trying to get that third goal, which is what you want to see, I felt.
Yeah, and had some chances.
They did.
Yeah,
and,
like Jack
and let's
McGlynn just missed the one.
yeah, and speaking of that, let's go to a couple of let's go to another one of those clips here. I want to share this one because this is one where I really thought that Quinn
Yeah.
needed to make a run on the ball here.
Yeah, it's a really nice breakaway there. Yeah, just Quinn, just missed.
Yeah, he needed to run onto that ball, I feel.
Yeah.
He lets the ball come. It's like, I mean, it's a good pass. Jack Cry could have got it to him a little bit more. Sinclair does a really nice job of cutting off the angle, though, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good goalie.
He's a very good goalie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are some good things. But I mean, at the end of the day, what were your final thoughts on the game?
I thought that the Minnesota kits looked really good.
Yes.
I was actually really excited to see those. And so there was that. But no, I thought honestly, once we scored the first goal, I was feeling pretty good. Obviously, we're only up by 1 goal, but when we got that second one, man, I honestly felt like, all right. I mean, was it the most outstanding performance we've ever had? No.
No.
But I'll tell you what, I think they did a good job of riding the momentum they had from the Portland game. As Jim said in the presser, some of these guys, I think, felt a little pressure because they were away on national team duty, and the other guys stepped up, and it was a big test for them. So it means some hard decisions for games coming up because there are options there.
No, and I
And
think that's
yeah,
one of the things Jim harped on. Let's talk about that. I mean, first and foremost, we were talking about Damian Lowe,
mhm.
Well, Jack comes out, even though Quinn was man of the match, I didn't think he was. I
I
thought,
mean, Quinn did a great job and everything. But yeah,
I
and we were
think
saying that up in the press box, like actually kind of thought Jack Elliott deserved it.
yeah, Elliott had a great game. So credit to Jack for like bouncing back. Now maybe he's starting to feel a little bit better. Um, Also, I can say this: I think maybe the matchup with the forwards there for Minnesota was a little bit favorable. But again, he's doing his job, and
Yeah.
it was a good bounce back for him. I thought that was his best game by far of the year, so that's
Oh, for
good.
sure, for sure.
That's really positive to see. I thought the entire spine played very well. I thought Semla, and Jim mentioned that, coming in cold, that's a
Yes.
very difficult thing for a goalkeeper to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, he did a great job to help preserve the clean sheet. So,
So
I mean, I honestly like with Zemla coming in, I don't feel like, oh crap,
no,
I mean, obviously we want Andre in there. He's 3-time goalkeeper of the year and everything. There's a reason why he's been that. But I'll tell you what,
it almost
we have
feels
so
like
much better confidence
it's
in.
almost like when we had Matt Freeze in goal.
Yeah, like
It's very similar to that. I think
shout
Freeze,
out to Matt Freese for having a really good game against Miami.
yes, is nominated for team
Like,
player of the match day.
yeah, so good for him.
Good for him. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out him on social, he voted for himself.
Yes, he did.
So credit to you,
That
dude.
being said, when we play them, I hope we totally shell him. But otherwise, good for Matt Freese.
You do know he's gonna get a clean sheet.
Oh God, we know
He's
how our former backup goalies are against
Oh yeah,
us.
somebody out there is just getting PTSD thinking about John
Mhm.
McCarthy.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, no, I thought at the end of the day, just a good. It was a workman's game. They put their hard hat on, went to work. That was a blue collar win.
Honestly, it was a fun game. No,
It was,
like,
and it was a fun game. It was good to be back in the River End.
yep, it did. Oh, and no Union game is complete without there being some rain. It did rain lightly. It only rained like lightly for you were actually out in
I,
that.
I was fine.
I mean, it wasn't like the Seattle game. My God, which by the way is getting has been rescheduled. So
Correct to
yes,
April 30th.
yeah,
That's a Tuesday, April 30th at 7:30.
yep,
Did you hear any YSA chants?
yes, I did many
Yes.
times.
Good. I'm glad.
Yes, you could hear that.
Yes, 136 did bring it, guys. So
They did,
MC.
and by the way, so at least from my vantage point, I thought at least in the first half, I thought the river end sounded really good. It was very loud, and I asked the guys up there with me in the press box, I'm like, does this sound louder than it usually does? Because of course I don't have,
Yeah,
it sounds different from me being down there. Like, oh no, this is definitely louder. I'm like, all right. But then of course they didn't keep it. The second half, it was lacking a bit.
that usually happens.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Except for like when it's set pieces and stuff.
yeah, but I mean, it was a good atmosphere. I thought overall a lot of fun. How and then you went into the press conference, obviously,
Hmm.
and I sat there and I listened to some of it there outside the stadium.
Yeah, so Jim said some things like they definitely were able, they had gotten some confidence from the Portland game and they kind of rode that into it and talked about Andre. So on one of the first questions, of course, what's Andre's status?
Yeah.
And so Jim said that hopefully nothing serious. It was more, Andre just been feeling lightheaded after that knock that he took. And he thinks, basically, I think he'll be okay. So it was
Yeah,
more of a being
he
cautious.
he got knocked. Ua got bloodied.
Yeah, Ua got he got bloodied up a bit, and then so he went out. But at one point, yeah, he was at this the sideline there getting kind of cleaned up during a corner it was.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, and then Jim also made mention about Ale, how he's embracing his new role.
Yeah, how it's just, basically he was saying what a leader Ali is and, an asset to the team having him
And this is
there.
something, honestly, we've been saying, like, when
Yeah.
we re-signed him, it's like, look, if he does a super sub role, he's gonna be good. And that's what I feel right now he's doing, coming out in that super sub role, gives us that attacker and, that calmness and presence.
Yeah, like he basically mentioned that basically Ali basically wrapped his arm around Raffanello in that Portland
Yeah,
game. And Rafa, as we know, had a tremendous game
yeah.
in Portland. So I think that leadership is just huge. And I love this role for Ali. I think it was really smart on the union's part to make this happen.
So yeah, so let's then you went back into the players area
Yeah, so I was in the mix zone there,
and you
and
got some interviews from Jacob.
yeah, so Jacob was talking to the media, Jacob Glassness, and
For sure, it's
it's a
easy
little
now
loud, but
when we are winning. But again, yeah, of course, it has been a lot of traveling and also a lot of tough away games. Of course, that's cost mentally and also on the energy level. But again, now we have nothing to complain about. We have a week to the next game. We can build up like normal and be ourselves again, hopefully, and keep being strong defensively and also being tough offensively and win games like this that we did tonight.
yeah, because like what you have to know about that area too is there's like kids running around all day.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like the players' kids are all like running around like Gazdogs. Little one is like rolling a ball through there as we're
But
doing that.
he hits the nail on the head.
But yeah, like so
He-
hopefully you guys can all hear that. But yeah,
He-
exactly what Jacob said.
He says basically what we need to hear is the union need to keep this up mentally and
Mhm.
physically. And
Yeah.
if they can do that defensively, I think they're going to be fine this
Yeah.
year. Not saying they're winning the cup, but I'm thinking,
But you never
but you never know.
Strong
Exactly.
over years now, and we have been struggling a little bit because that have been making us strong over years now.
And there's some more clips.
Mm-hmm.
Players, but again, we defended hard as a team today, and we didn't see too much of him. Dre had a good save in the first half, but other than that, I thought we had a good
Yeah, he prior to that he talked a bit about Oliver Zemla and how he has been doing a good job basically in there.
And that's really what you want to hear from
Yeah.
them. Is like now you have one of your, there's a former MLS Defensive Player of the Year giving praise to a young rookie. Well, I wouldn't say rookie goalkeeper in
Yeah.
MLS, coming up and saying, hey, look, this guy's coming along.
Yeah.
And so that's good. And then I know Jack
Yep.
Elliott.
Jack Elliott was talking to us.
Obviously, that's what we build our success on, and built our
Really like that,
success
Jack.
on the past 5-6 years. So getting back to 2 strong defensive performances in a row and a clean sheet this week obviously is important for us.
Are there any little things you noticed over the first few games that maybe you guys cleaned up and have done better over the last few games?
Yeah, I think we the last couple of games been more compact, close together, front to back, and been a lot harder to break down overall. And I think it shows teams have been struggling to get even chances against us right now. So I think it's been last 2 weeks has been great from everyone involved, subs, defenders, midfielders, attackers, goalkeepers. I think everyone's doing the job that we need them to do.
Yeah, and just in case you couldn't hear from the background noise, basically Jack was saying that they played more compact and basically they were making it harder to get broken down.
Yeah, I think that's something that they've started probably last game. I mean, there was a couple flashes here and there, but then they get broken down early in the season. I have noticed that the last 2 games they've been feeling a little bit more, playing a little bit more compact, a little bit tired of holding their line. I mean, even times at Austin, I saw that a little bit more, as well. So that was good to see. I'm glad he brought that up. And yeah, credit to them. They are starting to defensively find their stride, and we hope it continues to go.
Yeah.
And so, before we, I will stop there. Uh, yeah, we had a fun community piece.
Yeah. So, we after the game, we went back to the Sons of Ben lot. We had some chicken tenders and stuff, but we also, if you're not aware, if you haven't been to the tailgates and met our new little Sons of Ben mascot, sort of, BR, the cat. And so we got to hear the origin story of BR.
Yeah, I think you had mentioned to me that you wanted to do a piece on this. Obviously, we have cats, so we
Yeah.
were kind of chatting with them there at the end of the game.
Yeah. So we were talking to Kelsey and Ryan there at the
Yep.
end. And so the cat is about 5 months old. She was found as a stray. Actually, they were doing some things over at the Sons of Ben lot there and in the off season. And they heard the cat actually.
Do you want to share some of the pictures?
Yeah, let's share some pictures. So basically, long story short, they found that there was a kitten in like the wall of the building there at Union Yards. And so they showed us location. So there's BR. Okay. And yeah.
There's another picture of her. And
Yep.
then there's a cute picture. And
So
then
she's like 5 months old, but she was about a week old, they said.
yeah, so let me show you because Ryan in one of these clips actually shows us. Well, let me think. I had that one picture up here. Let's see if we can find it. Here, maybe it didn't load. I did have a picture here. I apologize. But anyway, go back to your story.
Yeah. So anyway, it was kind of up the stairs, and so yeah, so they got the cat out, and they had to like kind of rip open the wall a bit, and they eventually got the cat out, and so now it lives, yeah, it basically lives with them, and they bring it in the cat backpack to the games, and she's really chill actually. Because I asked them like, doesn't she get scared with like the noises and stuff? Because they brought her into the U2 games.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, I mean, she is pretty tolerant of it for the most part. Yeah, she can get a little skittish then after a while, but she's sweet kitty.
It's just a wild story that he was saying like she was caught under, and I
Yeah.
apologize because I actually had a picture where he took us up and showed us.
Yeah.
Like they had to like pull out some of like the siding to get in
Yeah.
there because she was trapped and she was
Yeah.
starving.
Yeah.
And like even when they were going up, like I think it was Kelsey, it was like saying, or was it Ryan was saying that she was starting to get scared, like going back up there.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, I don't want to go back there.
No, so guess she gotten stuck. So credit to them for saving them, because like
Mhm.
and then taking care of the cat, and now it's just been a staple. And
Yeah.
so I mean, it's a really cool it was just a really cool story to hear. So next time you're at the Sons of Ben's lot,
Yeah. Go say hi to BR.
yeah, go see IBR, and we'll definitely be covering more of her in the future.
Yeah. And by the way, BR stands for Ben Reaney.
Which is for you Spider-Man fans, because as soon as I heard it, I was like, ooh, I knew exactly where he was going with that. So
Yeah.
anyway. So just a couple things before we wrap up here today. This has been a fun show again. Happy Easter, everybody. 2 big road games coming up for the Union.
Yep.
Nashville, where Union have had some success.
Yeah, we know a bunch of people that are going to that game, so hopefully we have a good traveling group
Yeah,
there. We had hoped to go, but
this
we
was
couldn't
on our
make it work.
bucket list at the beginning of the year, but it just didn't work out with our schedules and everything else. We couldn't find the right flight, the right time to make it work.
So we might go watch it at Beer Hall Brewing. We're not sure yet.
No, we might not. But then the following week they're at Columbus. That'll be a major test there. So, coming looking at this, if we can get points, I mean, if we could get 3 points and maybe, that'd be great. At least get points out of one of these 2 contests.
Yep.
That's what I'm hoping for. And then they have a break. And then we're back for a busy month of May.
Yeah, April 27th is our next home game. That's against Real Salt Lake. So that should be good. And then we have the Sounders makeup game.
Yeah. And then again, just because Union aren't back for a while doesn't mean there's nothing going on in Chester. Union 2 will be there, have home games April 11th and on April 21st. So definitely come check them out if you're around. Hang out with the Bridge Brigade.
Yeah, and if you're a season ticket member, I believe you get like 2 or 3 Union 2 games.
So yeah, check with your ticket rep because they really didn't tell. They used to give us like I think the first year was like you get like 7 or 8 games, and it was like,
We
oh
never
wow.
took advantage of either. Like we didn't
Yeah,
have our
we were
first
like,
Union 2 game last
yeah.
year. So
So yeah, I mean, while this might be a little bit more limited this year, definitely go check them out.
yeah, and I know for like us, it's like, oh, it's a lot when they have a home, first
Yeah.
seed game, and then the next day it's a Union 2 game. I mean, that's a lot of back and forth for us, but no excuses for this.
Yeah, and then update on St. Baldrick's. I'm currently still at $353. Um, again, I'll be shaving my head for childhood cancer research. So again, leave the link in the description if you feel inclined. Any amount helps. St. Baldrick's is a wonderful, wonderful organization. We're going to be doing this at one of the tailgates coming up. Either probably we have one tailgate in April, and so it's either going to be that one or maybe one in May. So
Yeah.
stick tuned. I'll have more updates as they become available on the time. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. And so until next time, this has been the all for us as One Team We Agree On.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. We love hearing from you. Find us on all your major podcasting platforms and also on social media. So definitely let us know what you think. If you have any ideas for future guests or topics for us to cover or whatever your thoughts are, we love to hear from you.
And again, happy Easter, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
We'll see you at the game.